evening, everyone. Our meeting was called to order at 6:03 with the start of the video. Mel, will you be sharing your screen? Thank you, as always, Mel, for being a wonderful partner. So we will start with number one, welcome to everyone. Number two, review and approval of the October 25th, 2023 meeting agenda. The meeting agenda has been distributed and is being presented. Are there any corrections to the agenda? All right. Hearing none, can we, by unanimous consent, if there are no objections, agree to the agenda as being presented and as distributed? All right. Hearing no objections, the meeting agenda for October 25th, 2023 is now approved. Number three, review and approval of the meeting minutes from September 27th. Are there any corrections? All right. Hearing none, can we, by unanimous consent, if there are no objections, agree to the meeting minutes as distributed for September 27th, 2023? All right, hearing none, the meeting minutes for September 27th, 2023 are now approved. Moving right along on our agenda, number four, discuss follow-up matters from prior meeting, report on the E-SPLOST items presented at the October 23 Board of Education meeting.
Hello, everyone. I'm filling in tonight. Richard, who does such a great job facilitating this meeting, is not with us tonight, so I'm going to try to live up to his expertise on this. So please bear with me, and I appreciate your grace in advance. Just a quick report from what was reported and also presented and approved by our Board of Education. The first are going to be SPLOST projects. There were 3 modular classroom building lease approvals. That was for Farrington Elementary project, the Salem Middle School, and Redan Middle School. And so Salem and Redan Middle, these will bring in 10 modular units, which will help create swing space so we can move the children out into the building so that we can go ahead and continue renovating the HVAC system inside the building. And as well as at Farrington Elementary, that was an 8 classroom modular unit, again, for the same reasons. Important to note that these are lease approvals. So as soon as the project is complete, that those mobile units will then be taken out and returned back to the lease company, Mobile Modular. A fourth item for SPLOST that was presented and approved was for general contractor services for Briar Vista Elementary School and Henderson Mill Elementary School. These are major building system replacements, primarily including HVAC and roofing. The contractor that was awarded is Centennial Contractors Enterprise, and that was for a not to exceed amount of $11,565,900. Just 2 other points of interest. Not SPLOST, however, part of our capital improvement. We've also, the board approved professional architecture and engineering services for cooler freezer replacements at 19 of our schools, and that will be going to Cy Richards Architect. Again, we've identified freezers in our kitchens that are quite old and are at nearing the end of their service life, and we're trying to get a jump on that by beginning to replace those units. Additionally, we are looking at doing some minor renovations at our East DeKalb campus, and this is in support of our Student Support Services office area. And the board approved a recommendation for architectural and engineering services that will be going to CDH Architects. And that concludes the October board summary.
All right, thanks, Eric. You did a good job filling in. Are there any questions for Eric in regards to the items from the Board of Education meeting for October?
Good evening, everyone. This is Lisa Wright. I do have a question. Were the modular classrooms included in the budget?
So they're included in the overall project budget, but they are being, it was a separate allowance done by DCSD in support of the overall E-SPLOST project.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? All righty. Moving right along on our agenda, the contract award list update.
I think that's what we just kind of went over there. That's what was
Oh, I'm
awarded at the
sorry.
last board meeting. No, that's my fault. Unless I'm missing something.
No,
I
I'm
believe
sure
that was.
And Richard does do that. He goes from one to the other. So thank you very much, Eric, and thank you for that correction. I think the next on our list is the community feedback.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The only other only email we really received was related to the candidate pool information. Well, the candidate information on website, and I know Richard has addressed that. No other correspondence has come in since the last meeting.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Daniel.
Thank you.
And moving right along to number 6, the MSR review. Mel.
Thank you, Kathy. Good evening, folks. I'll dive right into our usual presentation. It's a recap of our monthly report, particularly the executive summary. No projects were advertised for architect engineer services in the period. No contracts were awarded for AE services in the period. We did have 2 projects, advertised for builder services. That includes Champion Theme Middle School. It's a major building system replacement. That delivery method is construction management at risk, CMAR. And the Nancy Creek facility, also a major building system replacement, again, CM at risk. Contracts were awarded for general contractor services for projects, as Eric just mentioned, Midvale Elementary, major building system replacement, and DeKalb High School Technology South, major building system replacement, to Evergreen Construction. In terms of active procurements, for Henderson Mill Elementary roof replacement, board approval is requested in October. Spoiler alert, it was approved. The architect has been asked to submit a proposal to add a security vestibule to that project. And for Briar Vista, roof replacement, I'm sorry, these are the 2 that Eric just mentioned. Board approval in October, as I pointed out, and the architect's been asked to submit a proposal to add a fire alarm system to that project. Other solicitations include Clarkson High School. We'll be rebidding that hopefully in the near future. I mentioned Nancy Creek and Champion. And for parking additions paving group B, we plan to rebid that in winter, and then get construction started to be able to finish up by summer 2024. Other active procurements include the HVAC bundle for Chestnut, Woodridge, Laurel Ridge Elementaries, and Druid Hills Middle School, awaiting contract execution for Evergreen Construction. And Hawthorne Elementary's contract was executed at the end of September, and a kickoff meeting with the builder, the contractor, Centennial, scheduled for October. In terms of our active or projects in the construction phase, technically, the Cedar Grove High School Auditorium addition is essentially complete. Final project documentation is near completion. And there was a nice ribbon cutting ceremony last Tuesday at Cedar Grove High School. And I believe that Superintendent Dr. Horton, the principal, and the community were pleased with the project. At Hamburg Elementary, fire sprinkler work is complete. Punch list work is wrapping up. And at Kittredge Magnet, which is actually at the old John Lewis facility, the installation of the new gym HVAC equipment scheduled to start in late October. Continuing on with projects in the construction phase, for the baseball improvements, Druid Hills High School at the middle school is complete. For Redan, basically we're complete there. The school asked for a few additional scope items. Eric approved those, and we're finishing up those now as we speak. At E.O. Miller Elementary, the HVAC work scheduled to commence in October, and we need portable classrooms to move students from the main building out to the portables. That was scheduled to occur over fall break. Spoiler alert, it was a week behind, but completed successfully. The HVAC work is now active there. We're pleased for that. At Farrington, Salem Redan bundle, the HVAC equipment, and the lighting material are on site at Farrington. We need portables there. They're on order. The district plans to have them installed by the 15th of December. That'll allow us to start that HVAC system work over winter break 2024. At Salem, the new roofing is complete. Punch list is being worked on. And good news again, that HVAC equipment and the lighting materials are on site. Similar to Farrington and Redan, we're getting the district's putting portables on site to house the students while we work on the HVAC in the main building. Again, plan to commence over the winter break. At Security Vestibule, for the Security Vestibules Group B project, you may recall that only DeKalb Early College Academy and Elizabeth Andrews High School remained. The storefront was in, but we finally got those storefront doors installed. You may recall we had some problems with the glass in its original delivery. As it stands now, the physical installation is complete, and the Division of Informational and Instruction Technology is hooking up their controls. Projects are active in the design phase for E-SPLOST 5 at Tony Elementary. The 100% construction documents have been submitted. They're in review by the district. For Rock Chapel Elementary, the schematic design work continues, and the district asked us to add a security vestibule to that project. For Stoneview Elementary, the 95% CDs are in for review by the district, and there's been additional scope discussed. We're trying to confirm that to get that hopefully added to the project per the district's request. And Kingsley Elementary will restart once the final E-SPLOST 5 budget adjustments settle out. In terms of our major projects, starting with the Cross Keys High School addition and modernization, schematic design is active and the SD submittal scheduled for October. At our new Sequoia High School and Middle School, schematic design has been submitted. It's in review by the district. And the meeting that we mentioned with the new area superintendents last period was held on September 7th. I think it was very productive. I think they're pleased with the direction for the project. At Dresden, the schematic design is active, and that SD submittal is also scheduled for October. And for our Druid Hills High School modernization, contract execution is active. You may recall the new Cross Keys Middle School needs a home, it needs a site. So that's an ongoing effort by the district. In terms of our project planning for HVAC projects for E-SPLOST 5, the districts decided to bundle Tony and Livesey Elementaries, and will ask for the construction manager at risk procurement in October. We'll request the CMAR procurement for Rock Chapel Elementary in October, and we'll be finalizing the scope for Stoneview Elementary, as I mentioned, and then subsequently request construction manager at risk procurement for that one as well. For E-SPLOST 6 HVAC projects, we're requesting the construction manager at risk for Idlewood and Murphy Candor Elementaries in October, and we'll request the AE procurement for Ashford Park Elementary and ISC in early October, with a plan to also request the CMAR procurement later in the month. For our roofing projects, Group 1 includes Kittredge, Magnet, McLendon, and Oakview Elementaries, along with McNair High School, and we were planning to ask for the design build procurement for those schools in October. Continuing on with project planning for E-SPLOST 6, the category we call security vestibules, fire alarm, HVAC controls upgrades. We've been asked to investigate adding scopes of some of this work to existing E-SPLOST 5 projects as budget allows. The projects where we're investigating adding a security vestibule as I mentioned, include Rock Chapel, Livesey, Tony, Stoneview, Kingsley Elementaries, along with Champion Middle School and Henderson Mill Elementary. Projects in E-SPLOST 5 that we're contemplating adding fire alarm scope to includes Briar Vista Elementary, Hawthorne Elementary, Tony, Chestnut, Laurel Ridge, Woodridge Elementaries and Nancy Creek facility, and Henderson Mill, Rock Chapel, E.L. Miller already have the fire alarm in their scope. That concludes essentially, if we were to refer to the monthly financial report, that's pretty much part one that we just covered. And part two, the program funding recap, I summarize on these tables for the committee. No new GISFIC reimbursement payments this period. So as it stands now, the districts receive a total of $85,829,878.02 in reimbursements. In terms of tables 1 and 2, which show you E-SPLOST 5 and 6 funding, you may recall that E-SPLOST 5 sales tax receipts are complete at $616.8 million. E-SPLOST 6 sales tax receipts are currently at $178.9 million at the end of the period, and that's an increase of approximately $12.4 million for the period. That $178.9 million is approximately $8.6 million above plan, and that's compared to $8.7 million above plan last period. So trends continue good. In terms of interest earned, which is also depicted on tables 1 and 2 in the MFR, interest earned on E-SPLOST 5 revenue deposits totals $11,829,882, and that's an increase of approximately $1.46 million for the period. And E-SPLOST 6 interest earned currently totals $3,762,470, and that was an increase of approximately $700,000. In terms of table 3, which shows you E-SPLOST 5 and 6 expenditures, your E-SPLOST 5 expenses totaled $408 million through the end of September, and that's an increase of $5.6 million. That $408 million represents about 53% of the current budget of $770.3 million. And E-SPLOST 6 expenses are at $2.9 million through the end of the period. That's up $300,000, and that total $2.9 million is about 0.5% of the current budget of $700 million. In terms of table 4, which shows you your budgets and costs, for E-SPLOST 5, we're in good standing. No project or projected expenditures currently exceed budget. And table 5 shows you your E-SPLOST 6 cost versus budget status, and we're in good shape on all E-SPLOST 6 projects as well. There are no new delays to report. I will refer the committee to the MSR table 12 for the listing of previously reported delays. And there were no claims by the architects, engineers, or by the builders this period. There were a number of change orders approved, including change order number 2 to diversify construction at Henderson Mill Security Vestibule. It's accredited to the district for $8,000 as a function of some site conditions. Also for Security Vestibule Group B, but at Oak Grove, change order number 3 to diversified for $2,637.43. The district asked us to have the contractor make an existing ramp wide enough to make it ADA compliant. At Hambrick Elementary, change order number 2 was issued to Osprey for $93,779.71. They were asked to modify doors after a new floor was installed and also provide cleaning assistance during the summer getting ready for school opening at the district's request. And at Pine Ridge Elementary, for the ADA restroom upgrade project, change order number 1 was issued to Construction Works for $1,438.98. And they were patching existing holes in firewalls based on fire marshal's basically late request. Don't have any really powerful photos to show this period. but I did want to share a few images, if you don't mind, regarding some of our major projects. Starting with the Cross Keys addition and modernization. What you see here is a conceptual layout of the proposed new or modernized facility. The addition is essentially, see if I can grab that for you. The addition is pretty much this portion of the facility. Another key feature is the addition of an auditorium at the back of the campus or structure. In fact, Cross Keys is now the only high school without an auditorium now that we've finished the Cedar Grove High School auditorium addition. This is a really nice consideration or concept because as it stands now, the campus is essentially open. By building this element, adding this element to the campus, we basically make it an enclosed campus, increase security, and also increase student retention, to tell the truth. This is an image that shows the various levels. There's 1, 2, 3 levels on the front of the addition, as you can see here. Really nice feature relative to the first level is a new main entry and lobby 2-height space off of Curtis Drive, moving the main entry away from Druid Hills Road. And that main entry leads you to reception. Reception and the admin suite, but more important, equally importantly, is the new media center that's proposed off of that main entry. And then that would spill into the dining area, kitchen, back of house, of course. And then that would allow this courtyard to be used as a spill out for dining, which seems like a pretty good idea. So conceptually, that seems to be going in a good direction. Another I might want to share is some images of the Sequoia High School Middle School combination. This is a kind of a rendering, artist rendering, to help us get a visualization of what the scale of the facility might look like given the constraints of the site and the topography. You may know that site drops off very steeply to the southeast. And what you see here is the high school on the left-hand side, the middle school on the right-hand side. And these are just conceptual images of how that massing might look, to kind of give us a sense of how it would shape up against the grade and the slopes. I can almost guarantee that these color schemes won't make it to the finish line, but that would be your middle school conceptual rendering. And then here would be a conceptual rendering of your high school. Again, conceptual, and the color scheme was TBD, quite frankly. So this one is coming along very nicely. As we mentioned, schematic design has been submitted. It's in for district review, and we hope to be able to share that with you after district approval. And that concludes my formal remarks. I'm happy to take questions.
Yeah. Any questions for Mel in regards to the MSR report? All right.
This is
Mel.
Lisa.
Oh.
Hello, Ms.
Hey,
Wright.
Lisa.
Hello again. One question, just about the DOE reimbursements.
Yes, ma'am.
Are they on track? Is it slower than normal? Can you just give us an update on that?
Yes. Well, the reimbursement process is a function of the district, us completing the projects, getting board approval to submit for the reimbursement to DOE. And once that's done, they're pretty timely. So it's all a function of us completing projects to get them out to the DOE so they can process the reimbursement.
So you're, in other words, all reimbursements for our completed projects are current.
Fairly, yes. I'd have to pull up the schedule. We don't own the schedule. I have one. We can go over that offline if you care to. It's pretty involved, but generally speaking.
No, just curious.
Yeah,
Just
generally
a general
speaking, the team does a good job. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I can piggyback off that, and thank you, Mel, for answering and for your report. Yeah, during this time of year, because so many school districts go ahead and operate a lot of their projects, there's a lot of submissions to the through the state process, so it always takes just a little bit longer We constantly are submitting those. It just takes a minute or two for all that paperwork to get through and for actual payment to be collected into our accounts.
Okay, any additional questions? All righty, thank you so much, Mel. Great report.
Quite welcome. Thank you, Kathy.
Next is the facilities maintenance report, the work order and staffing update.
If I may, Kathy, it looks like we lost Eric. I've got the participants list on my screen and he's gone all of a sudden. So we may have to wait for him to reconnect.
Yeah, well, you know what, we're gonna move right along if that's okay, so that we can save on some time. So if we go back to the agenda, please. I think the next on the list would be the report from the Board of Education meeting from the committee. I'm not sure who attended the October meeting because I had up until September. So if anyone attended the board meeting in September, I'm sorry, in October, let me know. Right here and none. I think Eric is back. Eric, are you there?
I am. I apologize. I'm not sure what happened. I went to move my window and I think I may have hit the wrong thing. Threw me out. So I wonder if I'm come back in. I apologize. All right. Let's see. Let me we're on work orders and vacancy report, correct? All right. Let me share my screen here. Okay, so this is our most recent. And again, this is just, I believe this was pulled late Monday. So these numbers are as good as Monday, that would have been the 23rd. And again, just a disclaimer, these numbers change constantly throughout the day. So it just kind of, again, gives us a barometer of where we are and in our continual process. Again, here they are by shop, and you can see that the numbers, we still have quite a bit on the kitchen side. We are making progress on that quite rapidly. You may recall in a prior meeting that we recently reorganized our kitchen equipment repair operation and have moved that on to facilities maintenance, and they are rapidly addressing as many freezers as they can. As also mentioned earlier tonight, we're very grateful the board approved some architectural services so we can begin replacing some of these freezers. That tends to be more of our primary major component right now are the freezer coolers. But you know, that being said, we do have some kitchen equipment that needs to be repaired on occasion. So right now we're tracking about 3,007 work tickets, and just under half of those have been completed under 30. Again, the other half is another 30, or anything over 30 is about the other half of it. And again, a lot of that is due for either waiting on parts, is usually the primary reason, or coordinating with contractors is generally the primary reasons there. Okay. There's no questions on that. I'll flip on over to the other document. Okay. And Ms. Wright, I know you've been asking me, and so I've been working on this. So here's what I can share. I hope you can all see this. What you have here is our vacancy list. And again, it's just things that we track. And so we have it broken down by the number of positions we've asked for or been allotted. And you can kind of see the vacancy as well as what's been filled. Some of our areas are better than others. Just a couple of items here. The items like training crew and our head custodians of our crew. What this is we get our custodians in, and when there's no vacancies, we keep them there and we use them on special cleaning projects. However, with our vacancies out at the schools, right now being so high, they don't last very long with us. And it's very important for us that we train them and we get them on out to into individual schools where they're needed the most. So this number here fluctuates quite often because as soon as a vacancy pops, we go ahead and move. But this is a constant hiring process right in here for those two items. Moving along, you can see our electricians were holding steady there. Our HVAC technicians, what were allotted, and there's a number of items in a number of areas. Some of those right now, we're also trying to start a second shift. So you may see there might be some evening references on there. And it's something that we're building. Again, the preventative maintenance technicians, those are mostly our evening shift. That is something new. So again, we're building that up. So obviously the numbers right now are a little on the lower side, but we anticipate those will continue to move up. We've lost both our pool technicians. However, we do outsource that to a pool company who keeps us in compliance with all the, not just the operation, but also the Department of Health rules that they also, them and EPA also monitor our 3 pools. So we're currently holding that right now. And again, you can see just a number of others. All being said, if you add everything up, we are allotted about 216. We're running about 124 people that we celebrate that are committed to us each and every day. And that runs right about 57%. And again, we augment a lot of this with local contractors. So it's a daily balancing act on what we have here. There are some that some positions that we would like to continue to try to hire, but in the today's world of competitive markets, it's it's extremely hard to locate certain skills, folks with skill sets, and then 2, be able to attract and retain them, given in some of the markets right now. So I hope that kind of gives an idea of where we are and how we monitor and develop strategies to try to fill those positions.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
There you go. All right, does that give you an idea kind of where we're at on this?
Yes, this is very helpful and very informative.
There you go. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for your patience on that. All right.
You're welcome.
So there you go.
All right. Any questions for Eric on the facilities maintenance report, or I'm not sure what to call it, Eric, an HR report?
I generally refer to it as our strength report. What's our current staffing strength levels?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Moving right along on our agenda. Let's see. We are at new business, notification of upcoming meetings and other events. I don't think there are any events. And we were remiss, the ribbon cutting at Cedar Grove should have been listed as upcoming last month. So we need to do a better job at the upcoming events and community meetings. Number 10B, the new district instructional organization.
Yeah, and I was working on this, and we're currently expanding that, so it's kind of incomplete right now. But the instructional organization, and I don't have a document with me, and I apologize for that. But primarily it runs like this. We still have 7 what we call area superintendents instead of regional superintendents. And the area superintendents are more by grade band and or purpose of school. So that being said, we have 3 area superintendents that currently are in the elementary world. So we have one that's somewhat what we call, I guess, Area 1, which is something kind of in the north part of the county. There's an Area 2 elementary school, which is more the central. And then there's an Area 3, which is, for lack of better terms, a south area type geography. But again, it only includes those elementary schools. Our 4th area is what we refer to as our middle schools. And we have an area superintendent over all 19 middle schools. throughout the entire county. So that is a countywide boundary. And then we have our 5th area superintendent, which is all high schools. And that is also a countywide geographic boundary. So instead of a smaller geography, okay, but they only focus again on the high schools or 9-12. Our 6th area superintendent.
Did we lose him again? Yeah, I think we did.
Yep, we did.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we'll just come back to him. Mel, you want to share the agenda again? Thank you. Oh, there he is.
I apologize. That wasn't me that time. It just threw me out. I don't know what happened. Okay, so yeah, our 6 areas, what we call our Horizon schools. Horizon schools are those that are identified as the state, and more or less is that we need some instructional improvement. They're given extra amount of resources, and that is a K-12 alignment. So we have an area superintendent that only deals with our Horizon schools to add an extra support and a more of a laser focus. But there are some elementary schools, there are some middle schools, and then there are some high schools within those Horizon schools. Horizon schools generally will remain on a state list for 2 years. And if they make improvements, they can come off that list. So again, within 2 years, we hope that some of those lists there will improve and change, which then again changes who the area superintendent would be over. Our 7th and final area superintendent is what we call our special schools. This would be anything from charters to themes, any type of magnet, soul magnet type schools, along with our special needs programs and those type of schools there. So what we call our special programs. And that's how the new district alignment for instruction is being delivered.
Sounds a little confusing.
Yeah, it's a little different. That's why we're trying to make a better graphic for it, but it's something that could be a little bit fluid as well, because of the nature of the schools that we have on a list that can come on and off a list over time. So it's not as stable, I guess, in that realm.
That's not very good.
It's it makes it very difficult for us because it's hard for us to align with that, and any reorganization, has far-reaching fingers into a lot of systems and processes that have been set up in a regional basis, and that's why we're now still going and analyzing, evaluating on what's the best method to categorize and align, and where we can. So again, we appreciate your patience. I do think it'll be good overall because it allows us to put more resources into those schools with a more specialized focus. And I think that will occur over time. It's just going to take a little while to transfer all our procedures and practices and reporting structures. Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Eric. Appreciate that. All right. Next on our agenda, update, unfinished business update, bylaws, the subcommittee.
Hey, thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I want to thank the subcommittee for being with me in meeting a couple of times to discuss the bylaws. We met twice to discuss the bylaws, and we do have some proposed changes to the bylaws that we would like to submit to the committee. We have submitted them to you, Madam Chair, and after this meeting, we'll forward them to the full committee. for consideration at next month's meeting.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. And I was in the middle of going through them, so I haven't finished them yet. So I will make sure I finish them very soon before the end of this week.
Okay.
Going back to the agenda, Mel. Thank you, sir. Board meeting attendance for November through January 2024. I know I haven't done one, so I probably will need to do either November. I'll probably do December. Is anyone wanting to do November or January?
Yeah, this is Tommy Lester. I'll do November.
All right, thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that.
No problem.
And January, anybody so feel led that has not?
Hey, this is
attended a
Min. I'll
meeting?
do January. Kathy, I'll do January.
All right, awesome. Thank you, man.
No problem.
All right. And we'll look in our. No, we don't have a meeting in December. Oh, let's go all the way to February. Anybody for February? And that way we'll be good.
Madam Chair, I'll check my schedule. I'll just slot me in for February. I'll let you know if I can't make that one.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel. All right. Moving right along to collection of recommendations from the meeting and follow-up matters for our next meeting. I don't think I heard any. In fact, I didn't note anything down. Did anybody else hear anything that we needed to follow up on?
The only other thing that we'll need to follow up on will be the final approval, if any, of any proposed bylaws changes, but nothing else was noted for this meeting.
Okay. Noted. Anybody else have anything? All right, move right along to number 13, announcements. Anyone have any announcements for the good of the body or the good of the committee?
Hey, good afternoon or evening, Madam Chair. I would like to, is it working? Sorry about that. Oh, let me turn the light on. Sorry, folks. I'd like to announce that I was in attendance of the Cedar Grove ribbon cutting, and I would like to say it was awesome to meet Eric in person, and the ceremony was really great, and we had a really great turnout and great speech by both the superintendent and Vicki Turner from District 5.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that.
Oh yeah, and thank you for the kind words. It was great to meet you too. It's a lot better in person sometimes than being a little digital picture, right?
That's right, man. Good to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you. And yes, I just want to remind everyone we do have another town hall meeting scheduled at Columbia High School tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. If you would like to live in that area, there will be data that will be shared, achievement data regarding the school cluster, the Columbia cluster, and also a chance to basically open it to the floor for questions if anyone would like to attend. If you're unable to attend, you can simply go online. There will be a link for a live stream.
And you said it was what time, Eric? I'm sorry.
6 o'clock p.m. And that will be tomorrow at Columbia High School.
And then if you wanted to live stream, how do you do that? You just
it's through the district's website. There should be a link towards the top and for the town hall meeting, and it should be able to take you right through.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep. Look forward to everyone's input.
All right, any other announcements? All right, I actually have two announcements. First announcement is that Derek, I'm going to say his name wrong. Come on, Kathy. Westfall has submitted his resignation for the committee this afternoon. So we do now have 2 open positions for our committee. Any questions? All right, second announcement is just a reminder again, if you're going to be absent, please just let us know so that we are aware of, that you're going to be absent and that we may not have a quorum. So if you're going to be absent, please let myself, Daniel, Richard, and Monica know so that we are aware. Any other questions? Any other announcements? Alrighty. Please, let's not forget that we do have our meeting. Can we go back to the agenda? Thank you very much. November 15th, 2023. It will be on our agenda for, I believe, next month. To review the 2024 calendar, where we will make a decision whether we're going to when we're going to host our November meeting in 2024. So please look at your calendars. Either it's before Thanksgiving or the week after Thanksgiving. So we will not hold our meeting on the week of Thanksgiving. And if nothing else, it is now 6:56 and our meeting for October is now adjourned.